Hi, so there's a rumour going around. The rumour going around is there's going to be a shortage of toys at Christmas, and it's turned out to be just like the petrol rumour. The minute the news said there was going to be a shortage of petrol, everybody rushed down to the petrol and stations, and sure enough, there was a shortage of petrol. Now what's happening is mums and dads have rushed off to Toys R Us and are fighting in the aisles over teddy bears and plastic space rockets. So there's probably gonna be a shortage of toys at Christmas. Now obviously I have a fascination with making things, and I also believe that you should be interested in making things for people as presents for Christmas, and I have 2 grandkids. So I was thinking about what I could do for the grandkids. Now if you remember, I made a wooden truck for my grandson, and my granddaughter wasn't born. She's 1, he's 3. And I was thinking about making them caterpillars. So for the older boy, then I was thinking about making an automata, because I love automatas. Of course it's got to be quite chunky because it's a kid, but basically you turn a handle, the caterpillar crawls. For the younger girl, what I was thinking was a pull-along caterpillar. Now we made the truck out of these things. These are breadboards, and you usually get them in a light wood and a dark wood, kind of beech or sapele, and they're just brilliant ways of getting pretty decent hardwood for next to nothing. So I bought 4 of these, and it cost me £8 in total, and my plan is to make those 2 caterpillars, and this one is the Automata caterpillar. Now, a caterpillar that will crawl when you turn a handle is actually very little more than a whole load of discs. So I took a hole saw and I cut a load of discs out of one each of these cutting boards. There is my sapele discs, and here is a bunch of other discs to make my caterpillar body. Then we have some mechanism discs, which are right here. So we've got large discs, medium discs, small discs. The large discs are actually about twice the small discs. We've got 3 with holes in the centre, and we've got 13 with no holes at all. Now it didn't take long to cut out these discs, because there's about 30 discs here, and it took about an hour and a half, and then I sanded them flat. So we've got a big stack of discs to make both our mechanism and our caterpillar body, and then this small disc here makes the tail, and these are drive discs and weights that will become obvious when we start putting this thing together. And the thing that I bought was a wooden ball, and that will be the caterpillar's head. I actually bought a bag of 3 because we've got 2 caterpillars to make. Now then, the first thing we need to do is turn this stack of large discs into a wave. So we want our caterpillar to look like it's crawling. Now to look like it's crawling, what we want is a wave in the body, and to make that wave we're going to use cams. Now it's easy enough to set up a cam, Here is my circle. If I drill through the hole there and put a rod in that hole and turn it, then the distance from the centre to the edge of that remains the same. So if we have a push rod sitting on there, well, it isn't going to move. Now if I want to drill it here, then the distance will vary as it turns. So as it turns down, then the push rod will sink. As it turns up, the push rod will be pushed up, and that's how a cam operates. Now if we think about the size of the body of the caterpillar, there's 4 centimetres across. So for it to not look weird, we don't want that movement to be more than 4 centimetres. It wants to be about there. If it goes about there, then it'll be just really weird. So we want to restrict the amount of movement. Now that amount of movement is called the throw. You've got to remember that the push rod is sitting on the edge of a disc, not on the axle. So if I were to measure 4 centimetres from the centre and drill a hole there, then the travel, the throw, would not be 4 centimetres. Because if I drill it there, say that's 4 centimetres, say that's 2 for example, then the push rod's sitting here. As it goes up, it will only travel 2 centimetres, not 4 centimetres. So to get the throw right, then we have a line in the centre, and we drill the hole where this larger one minus the smaller one is in fact the throw of the cam. When we've worked all that out, we can thread our cams onto a rod, and you notice they're all in a drum like that. Now if I twist the cams, then I can twist them to have an offset. that offset will actually create the wave as we turn that cam set. So I built this cradle to take the camshaft, which is what it is. Now when I'm making kids' toys, they actually love to do it without using screws. So I tend to dowel all the joints. I just drill the right hole and whack a bit of dowel in. Now if you want that to really lock together, take the dowel, put a slice in it, a sliver of wood. When you knock it in, the wood will go in and spread the dowel out and lock everything into place. And I just love doing that sort of stuff when it comes to kids' toys. Anyway, you see the cradle, it's just very simple. It's a breadboard, a couple of uprights and a top. On the top, I've drilled a corresponding hole for each of these cams at 10mm. 10mm because I made lolly sticks out of everything, and that's a 9mm lolly stick. Now, when you turn the handle, of course, the cam moves, but it doesn't really come to life until you put these bits in. So we drop the bits in here. And when the bits go in and we turn that handle, lo and behold, a caterpillar crawls. I think it's awesome how something like a few cams and a push rod can bring life to something. After all, movement is life, isn't it? Now, you will remember I told you we cut 3 of these discs as mechanical components. So all the small discs, medium discs have made up the caterpillar body. All of the large discs have made up the cams so far. And these 3 discs that we cut with the hole in the centre, one is making the handle and the other is a stop. Now this is a mysterious piece whose purpose will become clear in a minute, because this bit is going to rest on there. Then obviously as we turn that, this will turn, and because it's turning, we can take that rotary motion to do something else. So this extra wheel can actually act as a gear. It's a friction gear. We put another wheel on there and it rests on it, then it'll become a friction gear. So we drop that down there, fix that there obviously, our friction gear goes on there, and then when we turn that, this will spin. And I quite like the idea of having something flying over the caterpillar's head. And of course what I like the idea of is a butterfly. And here I've cut the bits out. So we've got the last 2 bits of those mechanical discs that we cut. They're going to become a counterweight. So they go on there, they get stuck in there like that, and that goes on the top. Obviously what we have then is the actual butterfly coming out. So we need a rod for the butterfly to come out, which is that bit there, and then the butterfly itself. The butterfly I've made out of 4 plywood discs that I cut the same size as the cams, and I've nibbled out the plywood discs so they've got that shape and they nestle together quite nicely like that, making me my wings. The body is actually just a block. Now I've cut the block out and I've pre-drilled it, so I've got my hole there to take the rod. I've got a hole there to take a bit of dowel, which is going to become the tail, and then a hole there to take the head, which is going to go on there. So while it's still square, I've cut everything out, and now I can shape that to a prettier shape. So that's the butterfly put together on its armature, and as you can see, that just slots in the hole that we pre-prepared there. There we go, and that will be made to rotate as we make the caterpillar crawl, and we'll make it rotate with that cog. So I need to put that cog on there like this. Put that back in place, obviously. Put that cog on there, drop the whole thing through, and then we should be able to get it to rotate and it will be finished. And that's it, finished. Now put a bit of rubber around that wheel just to give it an extra bit of grip. I used a bit of EDPM I happen to have lying around, but inner tube or elastic bands will do just as well. And we turn the handle. Now, awesome, the caterpillar crawls along and the butterfly flits like crazy overhead. Fantastic. That's my grandson's toy finished. So there we go, with a little bit of planning, a little bit of effort. Who cares if the Chinese stop shipping us plastic junk that goes in landfill 2 months later? We can actually create something with simple tools. Remember, this was made with a saw and a drill. That it's just going to be, well, a bit of an heirloom, really. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe.